How you doing? Alright. I just want to make sure everything's recording. Excellent. We're Operation Go. Okay. This is a game between... Hold on. I gotta bring my mouse pad a little closer. This is a game between Vasilin Topalov versus Alexander Shirov. I'm sorry. Um, and so Topalov's white and Shirov is black. This is a beautiful game. It's from, remember I told you we're going to be working on how to crush your opponents with Grandmaster Simon Williams. This is a game. Then we're going to go into puzzles. So, okay, let's start. And see, white is playing the King's Indian, or the Indian defense. It's really cool, King's Indian. It's more, I think Yazzer says that Grandmaster Yazzer Sarawan once said that when he first started out, it was the opening that he learned. It was kind of like he called it his fortress position, so that he'd be able to castle and get to the middle game. He says that he had a rocky start as a chess player, but he soon learned how everything started working. So he got, like he said, he got beat pretty bad in some of the games when he was first starting out, because he wouldn't be able to make it out of the opening. He would basically get defeated in around, like, into move 10 to a 12, somewhere around there, 1 to 12. But he said when he found the King's Indian, he was able to get to the middle game, and he lasted a lot longer. Then he was starting to win, and so he kept using this for a long time, the King's Indian. So then this one transposed into the Grunfeld defense, and it's the exchange variation. Takes. And then if you notice, the idea for white is his strong central position. He's got two pawns in the center. Black is going to, like Nakamura does, tack on the side. Nakamura loves fianchettoing in, like, blitz games. You can actually get, if you want kind of a sideline, you can do fianchettos. Fianchetto both your bishops, and that'll get you from the blitz into kind of like the middle game. It's quicker moves. Like if you're doing like 1 to 5 minute games, somewhere in there, you want to do something that's really quick. Like if your opponent for white goes, I'll show you. This is what I think it was Ginger said that he's known for. He goes, hey, okay. And so what happened was, yeah, in this is basically what he said would happen. Grandmaster Simon Williams, and then potentially like a development. Then you have your bishops here, and this allowed you to get all the way up to, let's see, 4 moves. And if you're doing like a minute to a 5 minute game, somewhere around there, this really got it going. And then at the right moment, let's say white plays c4, you can strike right at the center. Like you can go sorry, e6 first, then strike. I apologize, I forgot about that. Then you can develop here, and then something similar to that, or maybe just wait for a second and play knight f6, and after he castles, you castle, and then strike out in the center. Look, you're already to move 7. Your king's castled, and you're close to a middle game. Very close. And how long did that take? Probably less than 10 to 20 seconds, and you're good to go for a blitz game. But that's not what was played here, so we'll get to the Grunfeld. There we go. Here we go. Now we're back to where we were before. B takes c3, and so remember, he controlled the center. Black attacks from the side. Then he checks, and that c6, you're thinking, wait a second, didn't you isn't your bishop getting attacked? But remember, the knight would love to be here, but it can't now when it moves to c6, pawn c6, because a piece can't be on the same, two pieces can't be on the same square. So now this knight has to come out from two different areas that aren't good now. It'll have to go to a6 or d7, which then it's not to our likings, because we would love to place it right in the center. So it's just, I mean, on c6 where it attacks the center, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. He castles, and knight e2, knight d7, and white castles e5. So now black is starting to lash out with his attack. He knows that his knight, white's knight, didn't get put on f3, and there's a reason why it's not put on f3. I'll show you. If he did put on f3, you have this annoying pin right here. That's a total pain, because yes, you can castle, and then e5 is coming anyways, so it's not like anything big. It's gonna come. So, and this time it's not fun at all, because if takes, we'll say takes, and then smack. Now look at black's structure. It's horrible. I mean, white's structure is horrible. So you just gotta remember these things. So that's why e5 here can be played. f3, pawn f3. So white's fortifying his center, and Jeremy Silman wants, actually he talks in his book that if reassess your chess, that if you're able to, if you have the center and you can hold the center, you're winning. But if you're the one that's fighting to get rid of the center, if you could do that, you're winning. I know it sounds like, what? We already know that, but that's what e5 is all about, is to break away at white's center, and potentially to get an advantage of 2 versus 3. I mean 2 versus 1, sorry. 2 versus 1 advantage. So e3 is played, bishop e3, to re-support the center of the board, so that if pawn takes, he could either take with the knight or the pawn. And rook d8, queen c2. Queen c2 is important. You don't really want to have a queen on the same file as a rook, even if there's pieces that are in front of the rook, because anytime those pieces can move out of the way and then smack, you have a rook staring right at your queen, and you do not want that to happen. Knight b6, attacking the bishop. Also, in the book it said that queen to c1 is actually best, so that when knight b6 comes, you can always retreat back here. And then you won't really have to worry about this knight causing any more problems. It's such a pain. But you're saying, wait a second, can't it jump in? Well, then you can retreat back. This knight is somewhat fortified. It is a pain. So I guess sometimes you have to do with what you gotta do, right? And then the rook slides over. So now white they're into a middle game. When the rooks are connected, like this, the D and F rook, and then the D and A rook for black, that usually means they're full developed and they're ready for the middle game to start. So this is when tactics start shining bright. So the knight slips in. That's an exclam. Bishop retreats back, and then that right there fortifies the knight basically indefinitely. There's no pawn that could kick that knight out. And if you took it with a bishop, the bishop would take back, and you would have a problem pin with the knight and the rook, and it just make me sick just thinking about having that happen. So White tries his best. That's an exclam move. F4. He's trying to break black's stronghold in the center, and if he can get rid of this pawn here, then he has full control of the center. So e takes, and knight takes, and he wants to now undermine this pawn because of the forking capability. So the bishop comes and attacks the rook on d1, and you're thinking, but wait, can't he do this? Yeah, if he does this though, smack, and then now the queen has to move, and let's say that let's see here. If bishop takes, knight takes, and I guess you can move, and then it's really interesting, but I would probably say that white's still better, but I don't know. It's kind of different, and white's actually up a whole pawn, so I don't think black wanted to see any of that. I mean, white wanted to see any of that. Or I think it's the other way around. Sorry about that. So the queen comes in and attacks the knight, and it's pinning the knight to the king. Thank you for that. I need a drink of water. Okay. The king moves, so the knight can move. And otherwise, what could have happened is that bishop takes and takes, and they would have won a pawn with check, and you don't want that to happen. A5, and this move's kind of interesting for sure. It's not the best, but it's okay because he's trying to get his queen side going, and he's threatening the bishop because of being trapped, but it can't really be trapped because the bishop can always take the knight if need be. So this right here is a mistake, a blunder. The blunder is that it leaves open the G3 square. Also, it allows for an attack to start happening. The weakened king is now ready for to get KO'd if they can get a knight in there. Also, it opens up the diagonal for the bishop, dark squared, and queen mate. So there's a lot of problems with that move. A4. So white's trying to counter attack and kind of make black have to move his pawn, but it takes, and so he retreats back. That's an exclam move. It's really interesting how those two pawns really don't do anything for black at this moment. But trust me, in the end, one of those pawns will become a star. Trust me, one of those pawns will become. It's the. I'll give you a hint. It's the changing thing. It makes everything worthwhile what black does in the end. Knight e8. I'm sorry, bishop e8, e5. The knight retreats to c4 because he wants to. I mean, he retreats to b6. He wants to implant himself on d5 so that he can undermine the structure when he comes in. Now you're saying, but can't he get kicked out? Yeah, but remember, the goal is to get your pieces to the most active square. This move also takes advantage of a lot of centralized squares so that the knight can come in and kind of stop if there's any attack going to happen. Bishop d2. The knight comes in and he's attacking the bishop and queen, and this pawn can't take because whoop, it's gone. So the queen takes, knight takes, and then queen takes a2. E takes, so the pawn there, it's black's has it's really interesting. It's black's up one pawn. Also has an open center, which makes his pieces better. So just be on guard for that if you have like two bishops, so that you can do really good with opening up the position with two bishops. Oops. All right. Bishop G, knight, rook D5, rook E3, queen D6. He's trying to double up on the file and win a pawn, another pawn, because if bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and he wins a pawn. So now the queen's like, go ahead, win the pawn. If you play here and let me in, I'm more than happy to come smacking right down into your camp. Boom. And then, by the way, you better be careful where you go, because smack. Now I'm up a whole piece. And you know what? You were greedy. You were greedy. So was it worth it? No. So that's why he can't, when that's played, he can't take here, because of the material loss. So that's why he moves his bishop, pawn, takes, 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 takes. And then the rook comes over and attacks the queen. And now the pawn's under attack. Also, potentially, there's a mate threat on G7. And there we go. The threat is coming home. Rook E5 is a forced move. It's forced. I guess you could play here, but I really don't like that. I don't think it's the best, because you probably have maybe you even have the ability to go C4. Now you're threatening an attack here, or potentially maybe B3, something similar to that. Now you're threatening here, and if that's played, well, I guess maybe you have a fork, something similar to that. You know, you got a lot going on. So he moves there, moves the rook up. Now white wants to place his rook on E3, and he wants to kind of get this one gone, because remember, if takes, smack mate, you got that mate. So the queen wants to trade off, and it's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm in charge here. The bishop comes in, and now the rook's attacking. So F, knight takes, queen takes, and that was a blunder. This takes. That's a losing move. If he would have played A3, there's a threat of a potential checkmate there. So he might have to play there to stop that. And then he wins the pawn. And right now is a theoretical draw. It's a potentially, because yes, maybe you can check, and then you could check, something similar to that, but black wouldn't want to do that. So he'd try to get something there going, but then you have check, and you got to be very careful, because sorry, that's the check. I mean, I got to get rid of that. Because now you got to be very careful that you don't set up a mating threat, and this check doesn't work, so you'd have to play something similar to that, and you'd have to retreat your bishop back, something similar to here, and you're still hammering home, and if that happens, something like that, and you have a drawish idea happening. So it's really, really, really interesting, to say the least. But that was a mistake. The pawn's starting to push. It's on the opposite color. Pawn moves. King comes in, and this is the double whoop exclam attack, man. I want you guys to take a chance to solve this one. This one is This one, you're going to have to look pretty deep here. You're going to have to look deep on this one. Don't look at the side, what it says. Just take your best chance and see what would what would white play. I mean black play, I'm sorry. I'll just move it. I'll move there so that you can't see it because it wouldn't be nice. Just take a guess what would black play here and it wins. I'll give you guys, let's see, I'll get you guys 30 we'll give 15 seconds to choose starting now. So I'll tell you, okay, wait, alright, start now. Alright, if you guys chose, oh boy, sorry about that. If you guys chose bishop to h4, you are h3, sorry, bishop h3, you are 100%, because black knows that these pawns aren't going anywhere because of here, and he also knows that he has 3 pass pawns. These two guys, one of them's going to queen, and I'll show you how it goes. There goes one. And he plays B. I apologize, I missed one spot. I'm sorry, one move. For some reason it deleted it there. But B, King B3 is the winning move because there's no way to stop. If he comes here, you can actually come down here, and I'll show you how it would go. And if the bishop, tried to come here, you have check. And then if something like this, actually you would have to move, and then there's nothing that's going to stop the queening. So it's all over. So you'd have to more likely play bishop to g5. But remember, there's 2 pawns that potentially are going to queen. You may be able to stop one, but you're not going to be able to stop both. So if you played here, that one's going to queen. There's nothing going to stop it. So with that, guys, we're going to end on that, and we're going to start into our puzzles. Now we're into puzzle mode. We looked at a game, puzzle mode time. Okie dokie, guys. We did solve that one. I'll go back and I'll show you the solution. Okay, first we took here. We solved it. There we go. I wanted to show you that we solved the puzzle, so that you guys, if you guys wanted to see it, you could there on the recording. Okay. We don't want to move till we see it. Don't move till you see it. Let's see here. Hold on, let me go back to 26 to kind of see what his idea is. See, White wants to play here. And there's really only one way to accomplish that. If rook goes to f2, the knight is, if he comes here, we'll take, and then once takes, we'll drop our knight in, and the king will move, and we'll take. So here, he has a couple, actually he's got, I think, only two that he can actually play. Let me see here. Let's see, what could he play? Maybe he's going to play there. That's probably what he's going to have to play. And then we take. Then if he tries to attack here. So here, let's say he plays there. We take. That'd be a bad move because of here. Then we could do a discovery on the rook. So more likely he's going to play, I'm going to play here, 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 here. And I'm going to check when the king comes over. I'm going to drop my, I'm going to bring my rook to e5. Then if he tries to attack the rook, I'll just slide down. And with the knight's protected there. Even if the rook there is, we can always retreat it out. So I am 100% sure on rook to f. And now let's just take a quick slight look at, can the knight do anything? Nope, because if he moves there, we drop in there. So rook to f2 is the move. What do you guys think? What you guys think? I'll give you guys a little bit of time to see if you have any ideas. Any other ideas besides rook to f2? I don't see anything better. Let's give her a go. See if we play rook takes knight right now. He'll play rook takes pawn on c3. And the problem with that is we'd have to move, and then he can go after our h3 pawn, and that could potentially be a sitch for us. But if we play c3, could he bail himself out though with moving his rook? I don't think so, because even if he brought his rook over after we move that, we still take, and then if takes, we can check, and then if it moves over here, we move there, and then we can retreat back down. Trying to see if there's anything else that potentially could arise. I don't. Taking isn't a wise idea because then that activates his stuff. Or is taking a good idea? I mean, taking the knight. Because if we took with rook takes knight on f5 here, he's got this here, and I don't know if that's what we want. Well, no, because if that happens, and we move here, he'll try to come over here, and this pawn guards here and here. He's threatening mate. I believe it would be a draw at that point, because he would win the 2 pawns, and he'd have 2 passers. And I don't think we can win on that point. No. No, that's not a good enough move. That has to be right. That's the only move that makes guard sense at all. That's 100% the move. Because even if he moves here, we can takes, and then we drop in with check. Yeah, I'm going with it. And let's see. Takes knight. Let's see. Rook takes knight. Hey, how you doing? And then we can move our king up, and if he slides over, let's see, do we take the knight here? I think we have to. And then we can kind of somewhat save our position. Do we take the knight? What do you guys think? Take the knight or not take the knight? I think we have to take the knight because we set up for that attack. What do you guys think? I think we should take it, but I want to let you guys think, because there's here, here, here. Let's give her a go. I believe it's forced 4, so not too good of a point gatherer. Hey, well, I'll take 4 points, so it's not a loss. Yeah. Excuse me. 1 second. There we go. Oh. Excuse me. Let's get back into this. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and we solved that one correct, so we did good on that one. We found the answer. Took a while, but we got it. Huh. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, always give up something in chess, so we have to just see what that is. Potentially it might be bishop takes pawn, because if pawn takes pawn, we bring our queen right into b2, and that pins the knight against the queen. And we'd have a three-way pin. So that's potentially what might have happened, is because of because if we take here, he's gonna have to take back, and then I think we might actually win a piece in that sitch, because if his knight tries to move after our queen's there, we can just snap off the queen, and then if knight takes, we play rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, check, and we win a piece. So I believe it might be bishop takes a4, if I'm not mistaken. Do you guys see anything else? Just trying to see if there's anything else. I was looking at rook takes knight, rook takes queen takes, nothing. Knight takes e4, knight takes. There's too much defending the e4 pawn. So this is a no-no. That is a no-no. That's a no-no. That's covered, that's covered, that's covered. And when this rook moved, he left the protection of the a4 pawn. Every move has a drawback to it. And that drawback was that. So now we can actually play there, and if he doesn't take, we can always take, or we can always just retreat back. So you never know. Let's see here. What do you guys think? Any ideas? Knight takes e4. Knight takes e4. Oh, knight takes e4. Huh. Bishop takes e4. Queen takes e4. Queen takes e4. Rook takes e4. Rook takes. Interesting. Rook takes. Rook takes. That might be the answer, now that I think about it. The pawn takes is good, but it doesn't have a continuation that furthers any more of our idea. Because I was looking, what if he doesn't take? What if he does something else? We don't have anything. So let's see here. Rook takes. Knight takes b4. We'll say the g knight takes e4. And then after, sorry, here, let's say bishop takes. This would be a bad move idea. Well, let me see. If knight takes, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. This would be that. I think these pieces would be gone. The queen would be there. That queen would be there. I don't know. Did we accomplish enough with that idea? Not sure. Because that's a pretty complicated one. This knight, this rook takes that, that rook. So that takes that, that takes that. This takes that. If that takes that, that takes that, that takes that, that takes that, queen takes that. And then queen takes that. So we'd have a queen. We'd have a queen here, here. And we'd basically have these pieces left. Oh, yeah, I'll do that one. Yeah, I'll do that one right here. This is the one that we did before. We played here. I did a little research. Yeah, I did some research. Surprisingly, it was actually bishop to d4, and then it's like, because I didn't think it was gonna work. Then I was like, wow, we have that, and it changes the whole situation. It's incredible. I was like, wow, it's a good thing we did research on that, because that would have been a sad state. I missed that this was possible. I had to do some research on it for a little bit to find it. It's like, really? But we found it, so. And so that was what we did yesterday. And we got 10 points for it, so that was cool. I was totally off on the knight. It wouldn't have worked. It would have actually lost us the game. I analyzed that. I was like, oh man, I'm so glad we took time, yesterday, and just, gave it some time so that I could think about it, or we can think about it, and we found it. Hey, how you doing? Welcome aboard. We need some help here. If you have some proposal on kind of what to play. We checked out the knight takes e4. The bishop takes. Maybe the bishop takes is no. Let's see here, here, there, there, there. Nope, we still get the same sitch. We found out that we're left with these pieces at the very end. All these other ones are gone. These are the pieces that are gone. So we're left with a queen, bishop, and opposite color, which is drawish. And I'd probably say potentially losing for black because he's got a huge majority on this side here. That's gonna, and his black's king is way too far gone. So we were proposing this idea here. If we were to play bishop takes a4, but I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. Because when the rook moved, it left the a4 pawn behind, and then if b takes a4, we have a queen that slides in on b2, and then it pins like that, and it's like totally slicing and dicing. So I'm not exactly sure if that's correct, or if attacking here is correct or attacking there. So we're up for a proposal if you have one, guys, out there, because this is not easy. There could be an Alekhine, a potential Alekhine thing there too, though. That might be the move. I might have missed. Oh, it's that. It is, isn't it? Because then we have a 3 attack. Because if we have a queen here, we have attack, attack, queen attack, attack, attack. Yeah, and we win. We win the knight. Here wins the knight. Our material, either one. What do you guys think? Queen d7? It does 2 things. It attacks there and attacks here. What do you guys think? Knight f4? Knight f1? Well, if he goes knight f1, okay. Here, knight f1, rook takes, queen takes. So let's just try this, okay. Here, rook takes, queen takes, queen, rook takes, and then rook takes. And so we'd be left with, these would be gone, and these would be gone, and this rook right here would be right there, and the knight would be here. So I believe we would be up material if we did that. Yeah, I believe we'd be up material. We'd be up a whole rook. What do you think? Because that if we played queen d7, we'd totally win. Oh, the other knight, nice. Yeah, that is right. You're right. Let's see here. Okay, that changes all the calculations there. Wow, wowee. Let's see here. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay, knight G3 goes to F1. Okay, does that change anything? Yeah, that does. That throws a pickle in everything, doesn't it? But I believe you're right about the, well, let's see, if we played knight there at that point, if we played knight here at that point, the queen can't take. I believe you're right. Well, if we play our queen here, that's just devastating of an attack, because that's 3 pieces attacking this knight. It's this rook, the queen. It'd be these pieces that are attacking, and that knight has to go back to defend, and therefore we win a pawn, and we win everything, and the kitchen sink gets thrown on him. Yeah, I believe the queen there. Do you see? You're 100% right when you said after here we take there. That's 100% correct, and that's total devastation. That's total destruction there. What do you guys think? Queen D7? That's just like crunch time. First we go to queen to D7, then he brings his knight from G3 to F1, and then at that point we play our F knight takes E4. Alright, let's give it a go. Smack, yes. Hey, we did it. Good job, guys. We knew it was there. We knew it was there, but just had to find it. Just had to find it. Let's start this green train. I call it the green train when we have a whole bunch of greens. It's like a train. I always think of it that way positively. Let's start. We're we're 3 right so far, so we're good to go. Let's keep up the spree. Boy, I gotta tell you, they're really amping up the puzzles, aren't they, guys? Well, that's good for us, though. Think about it. It's pushing our brain muscle to the limit, so we're getting stronger and stronger because we're having to push to our close to breaking point, which we're still good even then. Snikes. This would be a nice move. The only sitch is, let me see. Actually, is there a sitch? Yeah, there is. The queen would take our the knight. I would take our queen, so we can't do that. Let's see here. Let's see. Interesting. That's it. That is an interesting idea. Let's see here. Queen takes. Knight. Queen check. There's no way stopping mate. Let's see. Is there any counter to his move? Any counter? Anything? Well, maybe if he plays here. So if we go queen to, we do have another idea as well. We do have that idea is a great move as well. This idea here, because it does have a threat. The only sitch is I see is he could potentially play f4, but that is an excellent move idea though here. But we have queen to but I don't know if that's, he can move his king, can he? Drat. Maybe that is, maybe queen c7 is correct. I think it might be correct. Well, let me see. Do we still have the same sitch? Oh, that is. Oh, you're right. My bad. Sorry about that. You're 100% right. Didn't, for some reason the fork escaped me. That's right. A double attack. That's actually the move. Correct. Nice, nice. That escaped me for a second for some reason. Let's see. Okay, if we move here, he moves. Oops. So we move here. Oops, my bad. There. Here. I'm trying. I believe it's right, but I just gotta make sure that we don't lose anything. Let's see, because if the king moves, it looks correct. It looks correct. What do we do? What do we do if he plays king to f1 though? Which is his best move. What do we do? What do we do? What's our continuation? What's the continuation? Just trying to. I'm thinking it's right, but for some reason there's something that there's king f1. What do we do after that? What do we do after king f1? So that's the sitch. Because we would take the queen and the rook, and then he would take our rook, and I don't know what we have for that. We could check, but do we get anything for that check? We have to do something pretty, quick, so That is true, because then you can come back with a snap, can't you? Hmm. But it's too bad we didn't have something like that. And then if takes here, we check, and then if he goes here, that are here. Here, there, and if he went up here, but I don't think that works, because then the queen would be able to come back. So I was thinking of some kind of tall like move. I think you're right. I think this is correct here. It's the most forcing out of all the lines, because even if he goes here, we can come there, and if he takes here, we're threatening mate. So I believe Queen H6 is the move. What do you guys think? Anything else, I think, is it's too slow. Like what you're saying, it's probably too slow. It's not that it's a bad move. It's just not quick enough to, because we're forcing him at this point to move over, and then when we do, if he takes, we mate, so he can't take this rook. I mean this knight. Sorry. Here, here, here. Oops, sorry. Here, here. Be careful. Here. He moves there. We come up, and that, yeah. Queen takes C. Alright, here, queen takes, check, slides over, checkmate. We have mate in 2 at that point. Here, 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 and there. And that's a checkmate. What do you think? Boom, shakalaka. Sorry. Yes. Hurrah. Yeah, I've been studying some tall games. I've been listening to Maurice Ashley when he's talking about tall games, and I don't know. I'm starting to get that tall way of thinking that you can, put pieces on things that you wouldn't believe, that areas in the board that you wouldn't think you could, and the combinations just are incredible. How he was able to do that. So, who better to learn tactics from than the magician himself, Emmanuel Toll? Hey, we're a team, If we had to calculate through all that, and we found it, so we're working together as a team. There's no, I remember what my coach said. There's no eye and team. Let's see. It's pretty sad they only gave us 3, but I like, you know what, when there's only 800. Yeah, it's on one of his tapes. I think it's squares that grandmasters don't see, and it's a lot of the tactics are found on these 2 squares that grandmasters miss, like e3 and e6 are where a lot of the tactics have, for some reason, our eyes, even grandmasters, it does it, it's just human for some reason, they lose focus on these 2 areas. For white, it's E3, and for black, it's E6. For some reason, tactics, multitude of tactics are won and lost on those squares. So, well, my favorite, I think, out of all the Maurice Ashley ones is what grandmasters don't see. I like all of his other ones as well, but that one's the coolest out of all of them. He explains how he got his grandmaster, how he went from an IM to a GM, and he explains that on that tape. It's really cool. Let's see here. Here do do do. Okay. Okay, so we have to look at what did this move do. Okay, white was guarding this rook and this pawn. He moved to e3, which is kind of a null spot, in my opinion. I don't really think it really does much. It does one thing. It keeps a close eye on that pin. So that's really the only thing I see that it does. I'm trying to see what we can do to take advantage of it. It loses a defender here, so maybe there's an idea around this here, potentially, maybe. Gotta look at everything. Let's see, trying to see. A second. Excuse me. Better. Okay. There could be a potential tall idea right there. Rook f3. That's a killer move, because if he takes here, we take with our queen, and now we're threatening checkmate right there. I believe that's more likely the move right there. And then if he allots us, we'll just snap that off, and again we have a threat of mate right there. What do you guys think? Rook f3. I believe that is more likely the idea, because I don't really see anything else besides that is good. There's really nothing that, because we can't take advantage of any other piece but the bishop where it sits. It sits on a problem square. And if need be, we always could double up here too, if we had to. I'm trying to see, is there anything else that he could play besides takes? I'm trying to just take a look to see if there's anything else. Well, if the king moves, we can always just snap off the pawn if he moves here. So if we played here and he moves there, we take, and we're going for a mate next move on there. Yeah, this is the move for sure. Let's see, if we take here, what do we get? Oops, I gotta make sure we don't mess with anything over there. Do we take? I'm not sure. I think if we take, we have a problem. But if we don't take, he checks. Do have this idea of moving our king to c1, and then if he tries to force another attack, we just move over to b8, and I don't believe there's anything more that he can do to us at that point, because this loses to here right off the bat. The only stitch about here is, oh, maybe that does work. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I don't. Let me see. If potentially we'll take a look at king e3. I mean e6. Because if he plays bishop here, we take. So if we plays here, let's say he plays there. Then we can always play after we move there, rook here. And if bishop there, we can. Oh, drat! No, we can't move there. Snikes, because there's too much of a pin that happens. If we move here, it's an excellent idea. We can't move here because of the bishop moving there. And so if we then we'd be in such a pickle. So I believe we might have a better shot of king d6. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Because then there's no more pin on the queen and king, or the rook and queen idea. What do you think right there? Because if we go here, he's got here, here, there, and it pins the rook to the king. d8. I think we still fall into the same sitch. I think there. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. That's an interesting idea. Huh. Interesting. Okay, let's say we play here. He plays there. That's kind of what I'm thinking about is c8. I think king c8 might be, because we don't want to step on a dark square if we don't have to. Okay, king c8 there. We can move our king, and then if he takes there, we can actually take here and open for an attack. For sure it's king c8, yeah. Now we could play rook takes pawn, rook takes. See, okay, rook takes pawn, rook takes queen there. No, that's horrible for us. Ouch. We do have rook f7 at this point. f6, sorry. No, we don't have rook f6, my bad. He can take with the queen. There has to be something more to this. There has to be something more than meets the eye. We'll solve it. Don't worry, guys. We'll solve it. We'll solve it. Just thinking, how would Tall do this move? What would Tall do? Think Tall. What crazy move would he play here? Trying to see here. Still learning to think like him. This is a crazy, crazy position for sure. I think we do win. I think we do win a piece at this point. Let's see. Wait, let me see. Hold on. I don't think so. I'm wrong. Wrong. 'Cause here. Nope, I'm wrong. We don't win a piece. We actually are down in exchange at that point. Drat. Am I wrong there? Here. We take. We do have rook all the way to f8, so that is a potential idea. Just 1 sec, I'll be right back. Keep looking, guys. So rook f6 is the move. But I don't know, what about... Well, that is true. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, if we play here and he plays there, we have that. That is right, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Can we take the knight? Can we take the knight at this point? I mean the knight, the bishop? So if we take the bishop here, his bishop's in check. His bishop's checking our king. So I think we have to take at this point. It's kind of like a force now, because he'll win a pawn if we don't. What do you guys think? Takes? I believe takes, but I want to. Let's go for it. There we go. 16. Yeah. All you gotta do is think like tall, right? When it comes to stockfish, huh? Well, there. You know what? We're getting closer. Let's see here. We got it. Do, 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 do. We have, I believe it might be Queen F6. That tacks right on through to the knight, which is like totally unstoppable. That's a devastating move. Because if he retreats back, let's say here, we can just play knight takes. And then if pawn takes, bishop takes, and we have some huge attack coming. So I'm thinking that might be the move. Trying to see, is there anything else, anything else, anything else, anything else? Let's see, takes. Why not B takes? Well, the reason is this bishop pins the knight to the queen, and if we could bring more power to this attack here, we have a lot more that we can go for. And then like bishop, like what you're saying is 100% right. If you're right about that, if the bishop moves, bishop takes, and if pawn takes, we take, and now we're forking the rook and the king. You're right. You have to take with the bishop first, not the. You're 100% right on that one. I didn't see that all the way to the end, but that's right. It's not knight takes, it's bishop takes. So we got. What do you guys think? Queen f6. That's the hammer. That's bringing the hammer down. And then if he plays here, we just snap that off. We win two pieces. We actually win a knight and a rook, so we'd be up a whole rook. Oh yeah, that'd be sweet. And then we're attacking the queen, so it's like, wahoo! You gotta love that. So what do you guys think? Here, Queen f6. That's what I think. Do you have any other ideas? Bishop g3. What's bishop? Where's bishop g3? Where's bishop g3? Bishop g3. Oh, what if he moves? Oh, bishop. Oh, bishop. Oh, g3. Gotcha, for white. Well, you still have this here. You still have takes. Then if takes, then takes, forking the king and rook. And then if bishop takes, then you can slide on over with check. What do you guys think? Queen f6? I don't really see anything better than that. Are you guys with me on it? Or do you have any other ideas? Let's go for it. Oh boy, boy, boy. What did we? Oh boy. Okay. Oh. You were right. That was... Ouch. That was right. You were right. What if takes... Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I really thought that was going to work. It's my fault there. We'll get this back. Okay. let's give that a shot. That's okay. We'll get this. We did it once. We will do it again. All right. Okay, let's see here. Oh, not a problem. You know what? We're here to learn. That's what this is about. Hey, think about it. We had to go through a whole bunch of ups and downs, and we had to go through a lot of looks like that. But it got us to 23, over 2,300. So it's worth going back and seeing, so that another one of those games our puzzles will come up. Now we know how to handle it. That's the whole purpose, is to learn how to handle it. Let's see. I'm thinking it's either that, sorry, there, or there, something similar to that, those three. I don't know if that's right, because he's got rooks lying over here. Let's see, then here, no. I'm thinking. Let's see if we move here. He's got here. He's got here. We can play there with the rook. Queen there. and that's a bad move on his part. So here, here, here. That's horrible, because then we can actually, from our rook here, we could take that. Takes. Yeah, he can't take. Nice. So here, now we after his rook comes over, we go there. He'll have to retreat back. Then by doing that, we can attack there, and I think we win the knight. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Knight. Well, if we played knight here, after we move there, we can just move our queen up. This knight's still being attacked, and we still have this attack here coming. So that's it, because if he moves there, we just move up to h6 and we're operation go. But you're like, what if he moves? I know what you're thinking. What if he moves here? Huh. Well, I believe if he moves here and he moves there, we could take. Then if we had to, we can always double our rooks up. I don't really see anything else that has that idea. Kinda, because it's kind of weird. It's like here, here, and then if we take there, he could take back. Then we can actually move our I could double up, but no, that does drat. I'm trying to think, because we do potentially have an idea. We do have a potentially. That's an idea that I was thinking, because then that attacks the rook, and potentially we can play our rook there attacking the queen. Alright, I think maybe rook h3 is an idea because, well, no, that's a fork. That's a horrible move. That's a bad move. Because here, oh, that'd be a disaster. Very disastrous. Boy, it's mined, isn't it? Everywhere you go, the position has mines all throughout it. There's really two spots for the queen that we could actually go to, and it's either queen f3 or queen g5 that makes any sense. What do you guys think? Queen f3 or queen g5? I think queen g5 for the purpose of being able to play there. Because if here, let's say he plays rook there, we could play rook takes, queen takes, and then we have our rook here, and it pins the queen to the king. I think it's that one. That's just me. I believe it's that one. That has the most teeth to it. Yeah, kinda. I don't think so. I don't like H. Well, let me see if H5. Let's see here. Well, we could. I guess. Wait a second. We could. No. No. Not sure. This is a pain. Let's see here. Okay. Queen. Queen there. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Queen H5? trying to think here. This is kind of... There really is no threat with G. There really is no threat with G. So H5. Let's give it a go. So H4. Oh, drat. It's okay. Let's be more, solid with our ideas, guys. Oh yeah, like here. Well, we'll solve this one. Oops, sorry. Right there. Did it again. I was like, oops, my bad there. Let's do that one again. One more time. Right there. Okay. Wanted to get that one down. Sorry. Yeah. We'll get it. Okay. Okay, if we play, let me see if we play here. Hold on. All right. We can't move our rook, so let's see. Okay, if we play play rook up here, he's got check. He's got check. If takes. I don't have anything, so that's a null move. Let's look real deeply. Okay, is there anything? Okay, this rook's awkwardly placed here, so maybe we could take advantage of that. This rook is also not on its finest square. We do have the ability to double up here. That would attack this pawn 3 times. So if he plays here, we retreat back. We come up. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, here, here. And we can always retreat our queen back there. Is there anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Let's see. Nothing, 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 nothing. 0. That doesn't do anything. No, takes, takes, takes. Nope. If we move rook there, he takes, we take. I don't know if we get anything for that, though. Do we have, is there anything better than that, though? I'm trying to see. It has to be something deeper than that. Hold on, let me just go back to 23 real quick. Oops. We do have The only sitch about that is see here, there. What I was thinking is here, here, and there. I think that's it. Here takes, rook comes over. But what if he does it? That's right. What if he does it take though? Interesting. Potentially, hold on. I'll take a look at that. G takes. Hold on. Let me hear takes. Takes, check. King takes. Rook. Rook up. If rook slides over, we have a check. Right. So here, 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 there, there. Then we actually can move back afterwards, and we're threatening that. Threatening to win there. Has to do something with these rooks. So we know that for sure. But then he's right. And the king does run. Because here, we have to check with our queen first. The first move is, if we were to do this, the first move is here. He takes. We check. He moves back. We bring our rook up. Then we move back. And then if he tries here, then we can actually play. We can play rook takes. I believe that's right. Let me try calculate that one more time. Here, check. Because that's covered, that's covered, that's covered. He will probably move back there again. Then we move up. And he can't escape the checkmate that'll be coming down the pike. There's nothing he could do. Yeah, I like that. Oh my word, you're kidding me, really? Hmm. Well, with this, we probably should. We'll pick up here next time. It's okay, you know. We learned. We'll get back. We'll stop here. No, you're fine. Not a problem. Hey, you know what? We're learning. Don't worry about it. So we'll pick up here next time. Okay, guys, good job. We're doing good. We're getting a pretty good streak of green. Hey, the it was just a couple mishaps. We'll get back. So, well, okay. As Wesley So says, "Serve the Lord Jesus," and as I say, guys, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Remember, we gotta keep studying chess, keep getting better, and it's just up from here. So remember, always keep moving forward. Look back to learn like we do. And then, as Hannibal Smith says, we find our plan, we make the plan, and we love it when a plan comes together. Bye bye, guys. Have a great rest of the night.